Hello, I'm Kuang-Yi Ku. I'm formerly a dentist and now an artist. I'm from Taiwan and currently based in the Netherlands. So you can see my multiple background. It's ranging from design to dentistry. So most of my work are related to medical technology. So today I would like to share some of my work. So the story goes back to many years ago when I worked as a dentist and also studying in a science school for learning scientific research. I felt a bit frustrated about the restriction of scientific research. So I stopped my degree and I went to a design school to learn art and design. So at that moment, I started to do some sculpture, which is made of a certain kind of dental material. And after the training of visual art and visual design, I started to feel a bit bored again. So it's a very similar feeling where it's just like what I feel when I was in science school. So I went back to my science school. I tried to think, is it possible to bring the creativity back to medical school? So it's a bit difficult to combine dentistry, medicine, and science and art design all together. So I started to think maybe we can start with what I learned from dental school. So I remember when I was in college, my professor told me there are three main functions of oral cavity. The first one is aesthetic, the second one is pronunciation, and the third one is chewing. So mostly as a dentist, we help patients to cure their diseased body by using dental technology. However, is it possible to creatively to use dental technology? So it's my research question. So I was thinking how to do it, how to combine dentistry and design all together. So one day I saw a pornography TV show and got inspiration. So you can see the picture. The right guy is a porn star in Japan. He is a straight guy, a heterosexual person, and the left guy is a gay man, and the gay man claimed he's good at oral sex. So this TV show is kind of competition. So the gay man think he can make the porn star have the orgasm of penis, but the porn star should not be get orgasm because he's a straight guy. So in the end, the gay man succeeded. So I at that time I found out wow there is existing purely physical pleasure of oral sex. So I just got the inspiration that uh, there is a physical function of oral sex in our oral cavity. So this kind of function of sexuality has never been mentioned in our dental textbook. So after the inspiration, I started to work on this topic, and I made a project, which is my thesis project for the Master of Science degree. So here is the video.
Facial modification project and the cunnilingus and nilingus modification project are my applications of dentistry and tissue engineering. In this project, a series of oral transformation is conducted. Via the bodily transformations, this project aims at the enhancement of sensory pleasure during oral sex behavior. The facial modification project focuses on gay community and is divided into two sections: male masturbation compound and the Barbie clone. Male masturbation compound. The idea of this section is inspired by the sex toy for male masturbation. The main concern of the design is to enhance the intensity of the orgasm generated by the contact between the penis and the inner surface of the masturbation cup. This contains three stages. Stage 1. Modify the orthodontic retainer to a wearable sex toy. During oral sex, the back and forth contacts with the raised surface would enhance the physical pleasure. I even collaborated with Science Gallery London to hold a workshop to teach people how to make this wearable device by themselves. Stage 2. I replaced the plastic material with real human tissue. This part is cooperated with Dr. Yuanming Lin's Tissue Engineering Laboratory in Department of Dentistry, National Yangming University in Taiwan. Stage 3. I no longer use orthodontic retainer as a tool. Instead, I will surgically implant real soft tissue to oral cavity and create a permanent modification. Burpee clone. In this case, for some people, they can find it difficult to swallow the larger size of penis, for this action can result in the gagging reflex when the penis touches the pharynx and larynx. Therefore, the transformation goal is to increase the volume of the oral cavity by lengthening via the surgery. As a result, the vomiting reaction will not occur during the oral sex again. I cooperated with a game writer and manga illustrator. The imagination of Burpee clone can grow into a co-context platform, so that the concept of my project can have more interaction with the gay subculture group. Cunnilingus and Nilingus modification project. This part extends this theme to a wider range of sexual orientation and gender identity. In this part, I focus on the function of tongue in Cunnilingus and Anilingus. There are two purposes of this project. One is to extend the length of tongue, and the other is to change the texture of tongue. There are also two parts of the project. The first part is a wearable device design, and the second is designing new surgery for tongue elongation and tongue texture transformation.
So mostly medicine was used for curing disease. So the unhealthy body need to be brought back to a healthy condition by applying medical technology. However, my project is more like use medicine as a tool, as a way to enhance our human body. So it's quite different. So after this project, I continue my interest of sexuality, but not for human this time. This time is for animal. So one day I was going to my friend's house, and they have a cat, and the cat was in heat. At that moment, my friend were considering if they should bring the cat to the vet to do the surgery, to do the castration surgery, because from vet's perspective, it's good for their health. Um, but from my perspective, I think it's quite complicated because we are not pets, so we don't know, do they need this sex organ? Do they really have the sexual pleasure? So so I think it's quite complex. It's like a philosophical question. So after that, I got the inspiration to do my next project. It's called pet petting.
This project is co-collaborated by 4 people with their varied background. They deal with the proposition of pet sexuality from various perspectives. Amidst all the species on the planet, the act of sex plays an important role for all human and animal alike. For humans in modern society, sex is more than just an act to reproduce but also stands for pleasure. And for many people, it has to do with the intimate connection of affection. What about other animals? Is it easy to say that their sex is merely for reproduction? If pets really have the need of sexual desire, how should we deal with it? Do we really have the right to remove the organ in the name of love? In contrast to human case, if there is an adequate contraception method available for pets, is it possible for pets to enjoy the right of sex? Is there any chance for us to sympathize with animals regarding their sexual desire? In this project, the contraception technology for pets will have been well developed in order to extend the concept of human using an app to look for sex or date for their pets. like some future version of Tinder or Grindr to allow an owner to look for a sexual partner for their pet. For the same scenario, considering there might be the need of a pet, after finding a sexual partner to live closer to its partner, we reverse the patron-client relationship, which reflects that a pet's living environment have always depended on humans alone. Furthermore, it forces us to rethink the spatial planning according to pet sexual behavior and preference, to reimagine common living spaces and public spaces of the future, and to design prototype to accommodate this imagination ranging from pet apartment, hotel, cruising park, and so on. In order to explore possibility of social networking between people, we will plan the imagined future city space in 30 years and reshape the shared space based on the imagination of pets' sexual right. We even collaborated with FACT to hold a speed dating for dogs. We invited the audience with their dogs to join the future scenarios. In the event, people need to imagine they were in the future, so it is like participatory performance and engage the public to experience the fictional world like we constructed.
So I did this project in Liverpool in UK, and after this project, I moved to the Netherlands. So I keep my interest of the sexuality of animal. And one day I saw a news. It's about the sexual abusement in dolphinarium. So dolphinarium is one of the biggest ocean park in Europe, and they have a lot of dolphin. So the story is about that person who is from an animal protection group, and one day he pretend he is a volunteer, and he went to the dolphinarium, and he saw a dolphin trainer was masturbating the dolphin. So he thought it's kind of a sexual abusement. So he posted a video on the internet. After that, there was a lot of debate. Uh, but the dolphinarium claim actually it's just part of their breeding program. So the dolphin trainer is extracting the sperm from dolphin and also help them to relax, to get rid of the pressure. So I found it's quite inspiring and interesting because we don't know how dolphins feel. So it's also very complex. So at that moment, I started to my another project. It's called Dolphin Eroticarium.
Scientific research indicates that dolphins conduct the sexual activity simply for sexual pleasure apart from the purpose of reproduction, which makes them one of the few creatures that have the sexual activity similar to human ones. This project aims to create an imaginary scenario focused on the dolphin's sexual pleasure. Dolphin Eroticarium will be like a large mobile vessel with an architectural space open to the sea, and it will sail around the water where dolphins are around for them to pass through freely. The space comes in 4 parts. In the sex toy playground area, there are all sorts of water tunnel and spaces for dolphins to swim through, as well as wall where sex toy designed in the shapes of dolphin genitals are installed for the dolphin to rub their genital against to reach sexual pleasure. Besides, scientists discovered that dolphins would poke a pufferfish with their mouth to make it release its toxin. With this chemical substance, dolphins can so obtain the feeling of bizarre bliss, which resemble the concept of human using recreational drugs. Therefore, recreational pufferfish drug area is that scientists extracting this substance for dolphins to safely use this dolphin-specific recreational drug in this area. In human-dolphin interaction area, under the guidance of trainer and scientists, visitors can help dolphins massage their genital to make them gain pleasure. due to the observed dolphin-specific sexual transmitted disease by scientists. This park particularly incorporates a dolphin health center for STDs to provide dolphins with STD-related medical services. In human-dolphin interaction area, trainer will show the visitor how to examine dolphin genitals to look for disease symptoms. In this fictional future, people will arrange a series of innovative dolphin watch eco tours, including boat trip to the dolphin erotic area to watch dolphins engage in sexual activities, interaction program to help dolphins get pleasure. The core of all this activity is an attempt to boost dolphin pleasure, which is differentiated from the past ocean park model that make dolphin performed for human entertainment.
So after this project, I think I was still very interested in animals topic, but this time not only for animal protection, but also for the ecological diversity. So in 2015, a documentary Racing Extinction showed us that a lot of animal was endangered. So the some of the reason are like uh, the use of Chinese medication, and it's all about the animal part of endangered species. For example, like rhino, tiger, bear. So you can see the picture. So for some Westerner, it's quite scary, but that's interesting because in Taiwan, this kind of Chinese medical shop is not that weird. It's more like very common for us. So for me, it's quite complex to deal with this topic because the international media keep blaming Chinese Asian people eating wild animal and it cause endangered animal or ecological problem. So is it possible to find a win-win system to both protecting animal and also preserving the Asian medical heritage? So I made another project. It's called the Tiger Penis Project.
The huge demand for wild animal in traditional Chinese medicine poses a threat to endangered species, such as the use of tiger penis to increase virility. But TCM might have certain cultural values which differ from mainstream Western medicine. Therefore, Tiger Penis Project aims to resolve the conflict between health, culture, and environmental conservation through a new interpretation of TCM. In the speculative scenario, future Chinese medicine uses emerging biotechnologies to hybridize animals, which symbolize sexuality in different cultures like oyster and octopus in Japanese pornography. The hybrid animal part, which is culturally stronger than tiger penis, can replace the illegal poaching. I also derived this project with participatory performance for public engagement. The participants experience this scenario by the whole process of going to a future clinic. This project uses design as a research method to hybridize TCM and Western biotechnology for speculative medical field future with more possibilities.
So I think this project is a combination of design, science, and tradition. Because from a Western medical perspective, Chinese medicine cannot be recognized as a science, so it's more like a traditional culture. So this project for me is like designing a new tradition which can continue the core value of old tradition, but do no harm to the wild animal. So it's like designing a new culture which can provide a better future for our globe. And I think this problem is not only happening in Asia, it's happening all over the world. Like Japanese eating dolphin or the bullfight performance in Spain. This kind of conflict between traditional culture and animal protection, environmental conservation. So I think my project could be a good example to uh, to be applied to other kind of conflict all over the world. So that's my sharing today. Thanks. Thank you.